extended learning outside of classroom. Because obviously in-class learning languages is not enough. I have a bachelor's and a master's in Russian, so I speak from experience that contact hours in classroom is just not enough. You have to actually go and do it outside the classroom. Just very quickly, I won't go into detail here, but the theories underpinning this talk: collaborative learning, OERs, open source as well, reflective practices, social annotation systems, and social interaction, social constructivism, and social constructionism, which is something I subscribe to. That's Vygotsky. Okay, the rationale for this talk is why should we have students use Google Docs, for example, to do collaborative writing? Well, all of them come with mobile devices, like this, or a mobile phone. Okay? They all come with them nowadays. Very few who have just a Nokia that's like a brick. Okay, some do still, but not many. You can foster collaboration, you can develop and extend ICT, digital literacy skills, that kind of thing. Also, you can help them improve their writing skills. We often see, in PSC, of course, we see international students whose writing skills vary from, okay to poor to not bad, right? So we try and help them improve that. With native speakers, UK students, I think from your experience, you're finding that students are coming in, they're just not prepared. They write like they speak. They might, I don't think they write text talk, but they do it very informally. Another way that perhaps using this type of tool is that it can help critical thinking, which is another area, which you might not think about, because if you ever sat and authored a Word document, an essay, there's not much critical thought going into that. You're just putting words to e-text, as it were. Okay. Also familiarity. Most people, most students know what Google is. They know what Google Docs is. They know YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. They acquired it a few years ago. So they know and they're familiar with all these kind of things, and especially Gmail as well. What are the elements of collaboration? Well, to author, to edit, to share, to suggest, to secure, and to write. You can do all these actions with a Google Doc. You can't do that with the Word document. With the Word document, I write it, I send it to my colleague, he or she sends it back with more information. Track changes, it becomes very messy. I send it back, she sends it back and forth, back and forth. My inbox is now clogged with the same essential email, which is expanded and grown. Okay? What is a suite? There's Google Docs, which is like a Word doc. There's slides, sheets, and forms. Slides is a presentation, which is what I'm using now. It's very simple to use. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that PowerPoint has. It doesn't need it. Sheets, it's like Excel, and form is a survey tool. It's better than SurveyMonkey. It works. It's better than BOS because it actually gives you a graphical output and, an input that's actually pleasing to the eye and it's easy to use. So before I go into some implications, I'll show you best practice because we don't have too much time. Now this is from a colleague at a Canadian university. He kind of did a blog post, which you can read later. I'll send this around, send it to Marina, and she can send it around. And basically, he's kind of a convert, if you will, to Google Docs, using it. Google Docs 1, pen and paper 0. He talks about, and by the way, can you see that? Can you read that? Peer editing, building a story, board examples. Students can work together on a document at the same time. In theory, if we all had a computer in front of us just now, or perhaps a group, so one per table, we could all sit in one document and work on something at the same time. And it would look something like this. Okay? Now, the problem with this presentation today is you really need to do Google Docs to use it, to understand it, to appreciate it. If you remember, some of you saw Neil Piper speak in December. He didn't realize its potential until he used it. He'd heard about it, like most people, but until he actually used it, he didn't realize its potential. So here we have some students who have created then this is a teacher, I assume, who's actually gone and corrected the writing. Okay? And just imagine how much easier this might make it for teaching languages, okay, rather than having it all on paper. Because students will lose that bit of paper. Dogs may not eat paper, nowadays, but computers do crash. Papers are lost. It's quite radiant sometimes, so they might get wet and damaged and whatever. But the student can also go and do this. They can make comments upon each other's work. The teacher, of course, can do that, and probably should as a guide. He took it a step further. This was his post, I think, on the 11th of January. He took it a step further. He gave some more details about the process of academic writing. So imagine you have to do basic research, you have to narrow it, annotate it, bibliography, etc. Well, he did a lot of this with his students, and again, this is kind of what you can see. This shows, for example, who's edited the document and when. Now, this can show participation in groups. I assume that for example, Dr. Chen, they're working in groups, so they might want to have to write that up after. But you might not know who actually wrote it, right? This can show who wrote it. This is evidence of participation. Okay, and again, you can also integrate other elements like audio comments. I know that some tutors like getting audio commentary rather than writing it down because it's quicker, it's faster. For languages especially, it makes them listen rather than just read, because they don't often get that chance to actually listen to the language. But these two links are here. Sorry. And you can go and look at those a little bit more in depth later. There's a lot more other informal research that teachers have done. You just have to find it online. So what are the implications? Well, we learn from with each other when we use this kind of system. Okay? It's also reusable. You can create materials, save them. You don't have to have a paper copy. It's always there. Your computer crashes and IT services replaces your computer for whatever reason. It's still there. You can truly use it. Also noticing, especially in writing, when teachers start making suggestions as students write or after they write, they'll start noticing what's happened. Why is my writing not so good? Okay? Obviously, it depends on teacher input. What else? Student engagement, remote learning, so distance learning. This is one good way to do it, especially for writing papers. Another, maybe more contentious area, co-creating the curriculum and knowledge, and also co-construction of content, language, and meaning. Okay? Because when you have a group of people doing that, they're going to create that together rather than just individually sitting at a desk or in the library or whatnot. Okay? Which might be more beneficial because especially master's students learn from each other by having discussions. We don't just all sit in the library and stare into a book. Some of us are brilliant, we can do that, we'll soak it up like a sponge. Okay, but others, we need that social interaction. And again, fewer emails, no lost work. Contentious question, can we use it at Coventry? Yes, we can. Coventry University signed up to Google Apps Certification, which means that you can use all those services, which I've just listed earlier. We also have access to Google Classroom. I won't talk about that. It's a DLE-like system, very smooth, sleek, and it works. DMLL, ITS, they can provide more information. Those are the main contacts. But I've been using this in my teaching since before I came to Coventry. I've been here almost a year. I was using this at St. Andrews and at Glasgow University before that. And student satisfaction in terms of that, they really liked it because it was a different way of learning. They always had access to their stuff, to my comments. They never lost papers. They didn't have to have tons of papers, books that they had to bring. They just had to bring a laptop. Questions? Yes.
I assume they have to have a Gmail account. Is that one of the prerequisites?
Yeah. They do need a Gmail account, and the advantage of the university having signed up is they don't have to use their personal one. You as a teacher can send a list of your students to IT services. Right? The guy's name is Steve Rogers, I believe, and he will create Coventry University specific Gmail accounts for your students.
They need Gmail accounts to keep their things, but I use this in the classroom anonymously. So through Moodle, the students click in, they go onto the Google Doc, and they all sit there contributing to a document anonymously, and then it's still saved in, because the link's through Moodle, but they don't
Saved in
then
your
need,
drive,
yeah,
isn't it?
so they don't need a Gmail account then.
So you don't know who's writing it?
Have you,
Okay,
have you
fine.
used this mainly for homework? Have you done it in class?
I've done it for
Do you see it
homework.
mainly as a homework thing? Or
I've done it for homework.
Classroom
I've done it
thing.
in class because sometimes, I mean, it's best to have students write in the class because if they go home, they might not write.
so it's quite a lot of responsibility on the students. You know, you need quite independent, motivated students for it to work in the class. I mean, you're kind of letting them explore
No, because
themselves,
it's a
aren't
different
you?
way of learning.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
actually,
It's
since
got a
it's
lot
so
of potential.
different, you know, they're still working together, but they're
Mm.
also working somewhere where they can see what each other's writing, if you wish. In November, December last term, I used it with one class I was teaching, and I had 3 types of documents. One that was just for you, an individual. One that was a group shared document, and one that was only for them to view. They couldn't edit it. And so those had 3 purposes. One was they could keep their own work. The other was group work, obviously. And the other was like a handout. Yeah, but it was all virtual. They never lost it. I wasn't spending lots of money on printing or time.
So do you tend to get them to use their own Gmail accounts then, or do you get them to, or have you done both? And what works best?
With the one I've just done recently, I actually signed them up through the university, through the DMLL and IT services because, well, it was, I guess you could say it's safer that way and more legitimate.
Right, okay.
If they use their own Gmails, it might also conflict because Google accounts rather, because they might have stuff they might not want to share. And when you sign up, when they are signed up, they get a Drive account, which is like what some of you may know as OneDrive. It's the Microsoft version, but it's a far more superior product than OneDrive. OneDrive it doesn't work as they envisioned it. It was supposed to. It's supposed to be like Google Drive, but it doesn't work. And even the university knows that and realizes that. I tried to collaborate with some colleagues in PhD on a document, it didn't work. This was back in May time, I think.
Are you getting a fee from Google for this session?
No.
No, it just seems like you're promoting this sort of, interesting way, but I mean, my thoughts are, I suppose, but my first thought is, why should I learn a new system when most of the stuff that you mentioned can be done through an existing system? Like, I suppose most people use Microsoft Office, Word, or whatever it may be. Then we have to upload assessments to turn it in. I mean, is there something there that I can't do with my existing that really made me want to use this? That I can't do? I mean, because you say you've got track changes, but you can track changes and that can identify people who are working on it. So.
Can I give an example? It just come to mind. Students found essay writing techniques really boring. I'm thinking if I put them all in the lab with an essay and we work on it together and they see the edits, they see what we're looking for, and I can correct the edits while they're doing it, so they learn what we expect from an essay.
It's in real time.
In real time.
Is that confusing? I mean, it might not be. The idea of it seems confusing to you.
Doing it at the actual time,
Yeah.
putting it
Yeah.
together.
And the problem is
I'd be changing one word and Bob would be changing that.
you can see. And in Moodle, we have a wiki in Moodle, but it doesn't work at the same time. One person has to come out before another person comes in. So what we have in our Moodle wiki doesn't work like Google Docs.
And with the wiki, I can easily, if I'm not IT, digital literate, whatever, I can easily delete what's been written, and then there's all the work gone.
So if I want to do then the assess report, because that bit of the people contributing there is an issue with the assess report, the group report, students always say, I always did it on my own, they didn't do anything. But where do you store it for assessment purposes?
What do you
Can you upload it,
Yeah,
the
upload
final
it,
document, and turn it in?
Yeah.
Things like that?
Oh, yes. I mean, what's this presentation, my presentation, for example, all I have to do is go to File and, save as, or download as rather, and then I have a range of things. So PowerPoint, PDF.
And it does keep the
images.
contributors in the PDF. But that's important.
You would have to turn that on. Yes, you could do that. So, if you look at the revision history, you can see that that's me editing it. And then I assume, I don't usually print this, and it would print it. Let's just have a check.
So while you try, can I also say something, a proviso on what you said that they're all approved by us?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that something which is not Bristol survey is approved if students want to do research. We have ethical constraints on monkeys, survey monkeys for example. I think Google Docs survey has the same restrictions as survey monkey if students want to carry out research. They have to use Bristol Online.
I think we need to look into that because if the university is signed up to service, you can't go and tell them you must use this or this
But
because then
I can't
that
and you
raises
can't,
an
but your
ethical
Marshall
question
can.
in itself.
I wouldn't worry about it too much, but
It's
really
not,
not tell you not
that's,
to
it's not
do
whether
it.
they
because-
can use it, it's whether it meets the ethical guidelines of the
yes.
The
university.
Data Protection Act,
They
if
have
the
to
server
go through
doesn't
it.
reside in the UK, we can't allow students to do
You do
research.
need to be very careful about it.
Yeah.
Well, the advantage of being the university account is it does reside here. It is the university's, it's university data. So, those are
It's just a survey tool. I'm not sure what you said is true. Just a warning to you.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
I think in one of our year 2 modules already experienced that they had a group report, and I knew that unofficially they use these because it's easier for them to meeting online. Okay, but and then my issue will be that, and then actually what we ask students is that they need to write up where are their contributions, so they have a list of where they contribute, so we can see that actually they have done something. So I think that's easy to sort of be done. And then the question is that if we are trying to utilize it as a lecturer, and I think it's really time consuming if we have to engage with their sort of activities and then we have to give them feedback all the time, because normally I was assume that if we have a coursework and then submit and then we can check it, rather than engage with their discussion and the history and then give them feedback constantly. And I think if there's anything that we can actually overcome this problem.
Well, again, for languages, there's a clear reason to use that kind of tracking. In group projects, rather. For languages, using the comment function is especially useful because, or academic writing and languages, because then you can see it. It's always there. Track changes in Word. To go back to your question, I find it quite difficult. It's very messy.
I actually thought this might work really well when I'm working on research papers with my
Yeah.
colleague,
Yeah,
and we've
if
always...
you're going to collaborate,
Yeah.
this is a much better way to do it.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
And when you're making PowerPoints as well, like I was working on PowerPoint with a colleague and we were both editing at the same time, so you save the PowerPoint there rather than.
You don't have to send it to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid we need to bring this to a close. It was very, very interesting, stimulating.